For nearly the past 2 decades, Halo's Flood has been at the forefront of space zombie video game action. But are they really zombies? Or are they maybe something much, much worse? So the question is, do these galactic monsters crave flesh and blood? Or do they just crave universal conquest? Let's get to it!
Welcome to DangerVille.
So first off, we have to talk about one thing. What defines a zombie? Well, first, they gotta be dead, usually as fuck. Alright, secondly, they usually have a never-ending hunger for flesh. Now, it's usually human flesh, but sometimes they go to all life. The only way to take down a zombie is usually by extreme trauma to the brain.
You get bit, I will shoot you in the head.
And as far as who that person was before they were a zombie, that's completely gone. There's nothing left of who they were. All they have is the basic instinct to feed. So let's talk about the Flood and how all these zombie traits apply to them. So, the Flood, they're not really dead. So they usually take the host's mental functions and they completely erase that. They transform it into what is the Flood hive mind or grave mind. But they aren't really dead on a biological level. I'd like to consider them more of a parasite, similar to those seen in the Resident Evil series, you know, where they pop out of the head and it's like, "Rah!" Like, it's very much more similar to that. The Flood desire all forms of life, not just human. However, they do share similarities with zombies in how they swarm and devour their prey alive. Just like what we see in our very own wildlife with wild dogs in Africa or wolves, how they attack a buffalo. It's just not a good way to go. Not a good way. Zombies have always had one weakness: trauma to the brain. So, the Flood, they share the same weakness. Headshots are usually the quickest way to take out a Flood form. However, the Flood can be destroyed easily enough by just ripping the body to shreds. So, repeated wounds to the body could eventually kill a Flood, but a headshot or some sort of smash to the brain area is still your best bet. Zombies are literally nothing but walking teeth and rotting flesh. There is nothing left of the person who they were. And while the Flood kind of follows this trait, there are multiple accounts of the victims still having their conscious and slight control of their bodies for some time after the initial infection. I mean, have you ever ran across a zombie in a game or a movie or anything that didn't want to probably eat your nuts off? My guess is not. So, like, they have no thinking, no logical instincts. They just want to gorge themselves. And see, the Flood are similar to that, but not exactly. The Flood have a never-ending hunger for any living being in the galaxy, but it's not just to merely feed. When they take over a host's body, it's all part of the ultimate goal: continuing the Flood throughout all known space in the universe. They take over the body and they use it for their goal, but this isn't saying that it's any less painful for the victim. The infection process is equally as invasive and horrifying. So, in conclusion, if you want to call the Flood zombies, nobody's going to stop you. This is all made up, we think, stuff in the first place, so it's not the end of the world. But if you want to get really into all the nerdy, juicy details, personally, I wouldn't call them zombies. They're something different. They're more close to parasites than zombies. Anyway, have fun. Peace out. This has been Jacob. Hell yeah. Flood. Monsters. Halo. Boom. See you next time, peeps.
Gentlemen,